What was it like in Gordon Central when you were here?
Well, when I was at Gordon Central, it was a lot of fun because everything was new. It was a new school to me because I had gone to school at Redbud through middle school, and the high school was brand new in about 1985. So I came here in 1986. I was I guess one of the second group of freshmen to come into the school, and my wife's grade, she was here the first year. She graduated in '89, and I graduated in 1990. So we were some of the first people to come through the school. So everything was new. There weren't any traditions. Everything was a first homecoming, first graduating class, all that kind of stuff. So it was exciting because
cool.
everything was new.
What are some fond memories you have in Gordon Central?
Well, fond memories. Being involved in the marching band was a lot of fun back then. I was in the marching band for several years.
What did you play?
I played the trombone, if you can believe that. We went to a lot of fun places. We went to Savannah one year on a marching not a festival. It was for the St. Patrick's Day parade. Went to Savannah. We went to Disney World one year with the band.
What made you choose the career that you have today?
Well, when I was 15, I felt that God was calling me to be a minister, preach, and so I was still in high school when it happened, and I started trying to preach when I had an opportunity, and I would preach at my home church some, and I would also talk at other churches if they'd give me an opportunity. So several times a year I might get invited to another church to preach a sermon or a youth event at a church. And that kind of directed my education, because when I started getting ready to graduate, I wanted to go somewhere where they had a degree in religion. And most of the state schools don't offer religion degrees, but there are several Baptist colleges in Georgia and Alabama and different places. So I looked at those schools, and I found Samford University in Birmingham. And I went there because I wanted to be away from home a little bit. I think it helped me grow up some. I was still a big kid. I grew up on a farm, so I still live on the farm where I grew up, and we do cattle. We have cows.
What influences did GC have on you?
Well, I think it had a lot of influence because having gone to Redbud through the 8th grade, that was a little bit smaller school. And there were, in my grade there were probably between 75 and 100 kids, I'm not real sure. But my graduated class here at Gordon Central, we had about 190. So it was at least twice as big of an environment. And not to mention, when I went to Gordon Central, I left a lot of those people behind because Redbud had a high school. So some of my friends had come to Gordon Central, but a lot of the other people that I met here were new friends, new people. I met my wife here. We didn't get married in high school, but we were in my freshman year. I took French class, and I took two years of that. You had to take 4 semesters of a foreign language. When I was in school, we weren't on the block schedule. Your teachers can explain the difference, but it was basically, y'all had 4 classes a day. We had 6. You were in class a lot less time, but the influence there was I had 4 semesters to meet my wife, and we didn't really date. We flirted a little bit in those years, but we didn't date until after we were in college. But I met my wife at Gordon Central, so what could be more life-changing than that, I guess. It's probably certainly the biggest thing, the biggest influence. But some of the coaches and teachers here certainly played a big role in my life, and there's been Ann Vaughn taught literature and English here then, and she and Darlene Cowan taught here. Those were some teachers that I had that were great teachers and helped me get ready for college, and the major that I had in religion, I minored in history. I had to do a lot of writing, and so I think, certainly with my academics, I was prepared to go to school and do well and wound up making good grades. And now I write sermons every week for church. So I guess writing played a big part in my life and still does. And I got prepared for that here at Gordon Central.
Did you learn like languages in college? Because I know you learned a lot of Greek
I
words.
I took biblical Greek, which is called Koine Greek, which means common Greek. It's not classic Greek. There's a little bit of a difference, but we didn't focus on the pronunciation or talking in Greek, but we learned to write and read, interpret Greek. And I took Hebrew, which is harder because the letters don't look anything like English letters. Greek letters, there's some resemblance to a lot of the English letters from Greek to English, but Hebrew was hard because the letters, the alphabet's so different in it. They write from right to left instead of left to right, and there are no vowels. So the vowel, it's all just dots and dashes, and also it's kind of hard. But yeah, language is a big part of my education when I got into college and seminary.
What did you do to get involved with GC?
I mean, after I graduated, or when I was here to get involved, in my high school experience?
Yeah.
Well, I was extracurricular activities. I mean, like I said earlier, I was involved in the band and in athletics, and I think that's important that kids be involved in something other than just coming to the school and doing the academics and going home. I think that the more you're involved, the more you get out of it. And
Less trouble. Less trouble
well,
you're able to
you
get
got
in.
less time to get in trouble for sure, but certainly just investing in the school and in your classmates. You form relationships. A lot of the things that I think about when I think about my time in high school are things that happened outside of the classroom with my classmates, but maybe it was at band, or maybe it was at football field or practice or basketball game. Those are the kind of things that you take with you after high school as much as the other part. So I think you just have to get involved. Of course, everybody has different things. I have a son here now, and he's involved in the literary and drama and choral department as well as athletics. So there's a lot of places in the school, like Word Central, where you can connect with other people. So it's not all sports or music. There's a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. There's a gardening club or something like that too.
There is in the vocational department. A good friend of mine, Tim Watkins, teaches here now. There's a lot of things in the vocational department. I didn't have time in my schedule when I was here to do that, but that and agricultural stuff. I was involved in 4-H when I was in middle school and early high school, and the lights are on. So I know that's a big part of the school as well. They have the FFA's strong here, so I think everybody ought to be involved with some part of the school.
If there were one thing you could change about GC, what would it be?
Wow, one thing to change. Well, from what I hear, the school lunches need to be better.
Amen.
We'll blame Michelle Obama for that. I think she's the one that